Network. It's What is New Orleans Talk Network? It's today's hottest topics with an added flair. You get ready because the conversation will be hot and better yet, mobile. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app available on Android, iPhone, iPad, and you can listen to us on the web at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com. Write down our talk line at 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255. Interactive and worldwide. That's what we are. Join in
Our
on the
listeners are as important as our guests. Join in on the conversation. 504-341-8255. The New Orleans Talk Network.
This is Congressman Cedric Richmond, and you're watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
Hi, I'm Sheriff Joe Lapinto, and you are watching the New Orleans Talk Network.
Our listeners are...
Good afternoon. Good evening, good evening. This is Remus Bowman with You and Your Credit on the New Orleans Talk Network. We're finally back. It's been over a year. I often speak about bad things happening to good people. As someone who has pretty much dedicated most of his life to helping other people. And most of my services I've given free of charge to help people to improve their credit scores. This is You and Your Credit. The show's been on the air now for over 4 years. We started back in 2014. However, we had a little hiatus. And as I said earlier, the show's been down for about a year or so, largely because maybe you might know, or maybe you don't know, that I had cancer and had to take cancer treatments, the whole 9 yards. However, I never stopped helping people to improve their credit. A lot of my clients often call me. And during this process, I had a lot of support. And I would like to thank those people that went out of their way to email me or send or text me uh, prayer messages every day and phone calls every day. Some of my clients even, when they would see me at Toyota of New Orleans, they'd come over and say hello and check to see how I was. I've even had a couple of clients come over and say, here, take this. You know, when you give, you shouldn't give expecting anything back. But when you give and the good Lord shares with you, lets you know that you're in His grace, it's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. You don't lose when you get knocked down. You lose when you give up or quit. Understand that. If you give up or quit, then you lose. You know, nobody's going to be able to walk this journey called life for you or in your place. It's you, your faith, and all those things that are affecting you that determine whether or not you're going to be able to reestablish yourself, come back, do it again, or improve. And hopefully, I've learned a great deal over this last year or so, and hopefully I'll be an improved person in the way that I look at things. I've never thought of myself as being a person who thought about money first. I always thought that if I gave or if I could give, that was my number one objective, is that I wanted to be a giver. You know, some people give in different ways. I was a part of the automobile industry for a number of years. As a matter of fact, I sold my first automobile in 1972, which is longer than way before most of my the people that are probably listening to this show were born. The market has changed tremendously over the years. There was a time when car salesmen could just pull up a copy of people's credit reports, and it'd come out on this little spindle, and the copy machine would just be it would be like a roll of toilet paper or something else that was in a roll, and it would just come right out. And if a person had a 600 beacon score, wow, you thought you had a gold mine. There are so many things that's changed. The scores, a low score is 350, a high score is 850, and that's your margin. Now, what I did is in doing the show before, I would often speak about having a copy of your credit report. If you don't have a copy of your credit report, you don't know what your problems are, what your objectives should be, or what you need to clear up. So what I did is, while I was out, I searched, and I looked at many different companies. I was offered contracts with a number of companies to represent their program on my website. That's youandyourcredit.us, by the way. And you should not be apprehensive about going to this website, because there's quite a bit of information on the website that you can benefit from. We even give you the addresses for the three different credit unions, so credit reporting agencies, so that you can, if you want to repair your credit or try to repair your credit on your own, those addresses are there. In just a few minutes, I'll tell you exactly where they are. However, I'm very proud of this one particular product that I offer right now. If you go to my website, youandyourcredit.us, you'll see a big red circle, and it's right behind me. It says $1. Now, what that's saying is that now you can register and get all three credit reports plus the scores, and it's a soft pull, so it doesn't have an adverse effect on your. It's not going to have an adverse effect on your credit score. It's not going to. It's not going to affect it negatively at all. Uh, we have a call on line one. Great. Who do we have? You want to patch it in? Hello. Hello. I have a. As I said earlier, it's not going to adversely. It's not. It's not going to adversely affect your credit report. You'll be able to pull it up. Just uh, press the button. It's so simple, and you'll go direct to a very easy, very simple. I mean, it couldn't be more. Uh, you know, it couldn't be easy. It says get yours now. Once you get all three credit reports, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, and it's a soft pull. Remember this: if you want to be able to improve your credit score, you have to have the information that you need. Hello? You will have to have the information that you need. So, where it says get yours now, press the button, and it's one of the simplest forms I've ever seen in my life. It just asks for your name, address, email address, and then you confirm your email address and street address, and then you go to next, and then that's when you put in your payment for $1. It's a free. It's a $1 free opportunity to individually look at all three credit reports and scores. When you walk into a car dealership or a mortgage company, and you apply, you're looking to rent an apartment or rent a house or buy a car, and the person looks at you kind of weird because your score is less than what they desire it to be or need it to be in order to get you approved for what you're trying to purchase. Hello? Hello? If it's not, what you need it to be, there's nothing you can't blame the creditor because your credit score isn't up to par. Let me just say this. You can okay, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hey, what's happening, brother?
Hey, man, welcome back, man. Welcome back.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
You know what they say, you
back.
can't kill bad grass, brother.
Hey, bro, welcome back, man.
I was
Welcome
just talking.
back.
I was just talking about the $1 credit report program that we have. Did you have an opportunity? I know I sent it to you last week. Did you have a chance to look at it?
It's $1.
It's $1, and then you get to see
$1.
all three credit reports. Even if you go.
And what I want you to do for the people is what you did for me is to explain the difference between a soft pull and a hard pull.
Okay.
A soft pull and a hard pull.
We can do
because
that.
A hard pull seems to have some reduced credit, and a soft pull don't. Can you explain it to me what that was? So it hindered me from taking chances with my credit because the people at the car dealership say, don't let anybody pull your credit. Don't let anybody do it to your credit. You drive your credit down. So a lot of times that stopped me from moving forward to checking on my credit to see what I could do because I was told about somebody else pulling my credit. So, but once you cleared that up for me, it made it easy. So I signed up with you, and I went right to work for my credit. So
Well,
can you please explain to the people what's the difference between a soft pull and a hard pull
well,
in the credit world?
well. Let me just say this: a hard pull is is representative of you walking into a car dealership or a leasing agency or a mortgage company and applying for a loan or applying to buy a car or applying to get a mortgage.
Okay.
A soft pull is you looking at your credit. It represents an opportunity. The federal government gives you an opportunity to look at your credit. In fact, they've provided opportunities for people to get their free credit reports through all types of different companies. But those companies do not actually, and they're soft pulls. Most of them are soft pulls. Soft pull
Okay.
is you, represents you. Even if let's say for example you wanted me to counsel you on what's on your credit report.
Uh
I
huh.
could pull your credit report under the same information that you used to pull it and counsel you at the same time while you're looking at it
Wow.
without it affecting your credit because I have an opportunity to pull up the same information. So and I will be doing it as a representative for you. A lot of times when you walk into car dealerships, uh, the car dealer has the upper hand. I mean, the guy who's sitting behind the desk across from you, he knows everything. All
Okay.
the cards, he has all the cards in his hand. He knows where your credit report is, or what your credit score is. Knows what's on your credit report. He knows, uh, he knows what that score is. So he knows whether or not you're going to be easily approved or it's going to be difficult. That's
Well, in that case, my question to you is,
mhm.
how can I turn that into my favor?
Well, the thing is when you pull your credit report, and again, as I said earlier, we have a company that will allow you to pull your credit report for $1, and you'll be able to see all three of them individually, not just kind of crumbled together. And this is not an opportunity for us to sell you additional products. You know, if we want to, we're going to be offering you opportunities to get credit cards and other vehicles, but they won't be mangled into your credit report. A lot of times people have problems reading these reports because there's so much information on the report that have absolutely nothing to do with your credit report itself. You know, I think some of the companies that offer free credit reports, that's a good basis. It's a good thing. But even with Credit Karma, they don't give you all three reports. In this particular case, you're going to get all three reports, and you'll be able to go back and look at them as often as you want to, without it affecting your credit score, and that's a good thing.
So what? So will it be online? Will I get them in the mail? How would I get it?
Well, you just go to uniourcredit.us, press the
I
red
did
button.
that.
I love red buttons, George. Press the red button where it says
Okay.
where it says get your get your credit. It says
Okay.
uh, for all three credit reports and scores, $1 credit report. Click here to get your credit report. Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And as I
Right.
said earlier, this will not adversely affect your credit score. There's no charge. There's not going to be any penalty for you looking at your credit score on this, through this vehicle at all. Because again, as I said earlier, you have the right to know what's on your credit report. More
Right.
often than not, when you walk into a facility, there's so many laws that have been put in place because people have been stealing people's information. So as a
Right.
result, you go into a car dealership, most car dealers are not going to share that information with you. They're gonna, hide it behind the hand and say, "Whoa, wait a minute, I can't tell you that. I can't show you that." Well, why would you not want to know what's on your credit report? Why would you want someone else to know what's on your report, know what your score is, and you not know?
I don't.
If you go to my website, you and your credit, this right under that it tells you exactly how your credit scores affect your interest rates. In other words, if you have it's actually 350 to 600 beacon score. You're less than that's a poor credit score. There was one time, George, I'm sure you remember when a 600 beacon score was a bullet. Now it's a poor
Yeah.
score. 601 to 650 is a fair score. And a lot of people are not aware of that. Our 657 to 719 is a good score. 720 to 850 is an excellent score. This is how the banks evaluate your credit when you're applying for a loan. So the first thing you need to do is get a copy of your credit report. Go back, pay $1, takes a debit card, $1, and you will be able to review all three credit scores. I think it gives you an upper hand because I'm going to tell you a story about someone who went in to buy a car uh, about 6 months ago, and she happens to be a relative of mine. And I'll tell you that story when we come back. It's time for our first break. This is You and Your Credit with Remus Bowman. It's glad to be back, guys.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
New year, new show. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson, and I'm coming back at you with the new year of Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions. And this year, we're moving to Monday night with brand new exciting guests and engaging literary conversation. And we want our listening audience to be there with us because this is going to be a year you will not forget. Catch us every Monday night, 7 p.m., right here on the New Orleans Talk Network. And you can also reach us on the Meet the World Image Solutions Facebook page, the Meet the World Image Solutions YouTube page, and we're on Podbean, iTunes, and Google Play. So catch us every Monday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. See you there.
Are you looking for a home to live stream your next event? Give us a call here at Bethesda Community Event Center, the only place on the Gulf Coast that can host and broadcast live your wedding reception, your baby shower, business seminar, and any other special event. Give us a call at 504-708-9454 for more details.
Back. Hey guys, we're back. If you go to youandyourcredit.us, on that first page, it shows you a photo of a Toyota Camry. And that Camry, which I didn't come up with it until recently, asking Mike to include it. And I'll wait until you make until you pull it up, Mike, and then I'll go through what I want to talk about on it. Everything moves so quickly. But anyway, why would you want to walk into a car dealership? You know, and I've seen many people do this and not know whether or not you can buy something. Think about it. I can't even. I have no idea how many people I've seen. You know, that I've had conversations with, and the first word that came out of their mouth was, "Well, I know my credit's not very good." Well, how do you know that? Have you seen your credit report, or are you basing that information on what someone else has told you? And the reason why I asked you that question is because if you're basing your information on what someone else has told you, then they have all the cards. You know, what's that's it right there. What's the upper hand? What is it that how is it that you benefit? Are you really prepared to walk into a car dealership and buy a car? Right now, people are getting thousands of dollars, thousands. You know, there's an advertisement uh, for a tax repair company in New Orleans right now, and it said, I got $6,000. You know, uh, I got your check. Now, chances are, and as a person who was a part of the automobile industry for a number of years, this is the time when a lot of people will go into car dealerships and buy cars. But here's the problem. The problem is when you walk in to buy a car and your credit scores are low, then you're going to end up having to put thousands of dollars down in order to get that car. So what happens is you're giving away your entire tax refund. You're giving it away because what happens is, and I'm going to get a little bit more in depth on this in just a second, but what happens is the interest rates make it yes. Now, makes it so difficult for you to qualify based on your previous payment history. That what happens is the banks punish you because there's an old saying that I used to use before. It says you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So what happens is when you walk into a car dealer and you want to buy a car, and let's say for example, I did a presentation based on a brand new Toyota Camry. Now this is on an LE Toyota Camry. We want to show it now, Mike. Toyota Camry. We want to show it now. The Toyota Camry's base price is roughly $24,000, $24,300. Now, if you have a 700 or 730 Beacon score, and what happened is now some manufacturers are going to go back or still going to find ways to do 0%. Some of them are not. We see a lot of advertisement all the time where people are being invited into car dealerships with advertisements that they don't qualify for. Think about it. As a matter of fact, and I'm not taking shots at anybody because, we've got to give opportunities for people to come in and buy our products. So the other day I was watching a commercial, and it was for a Honda store in New Orleans East. Now, my good friend is the general manager over there, Henry Legault, and I know that that his ad is possible because they're not allowed to make ads that you can't accomplish. In other words, that would be bait and switch. If they made an ad that a person cannot walk in and that dealer cannot honor that ad, then it's a no-go. But in this particular ad, Anthony advertised a brand new Honda Accord for $235 a month as a lease, and you were going to put down $2,400 change down on the down payment, which is not a big down payment, but you were only going to pay $235 a month for the term of the lease. That's a pretty good deal on a Honda Accord. Honda Accord's a very nice car, has a great reputation, and anybody who purchased one would be very satisfied with it. You know, I've been around the car business for a long time. Honda Accord's one of my favorite cars. Now, here's the thing. If you walk into that dealership with your $2,400 and you don't have a good credit score, then guess what just happened? Your interest rates are going to be much higher, and therefore either you qualify to get a lease or you don't. So what's going to happen is you're going to go from not being able to purchase the car as a lease and getting a $235 a month to paying, to using it as a purchase, and the numbers are going to change significantly. For example, I did on my website, that's youandyourcredit.us, you can find a example of this Toyota Camry. The new Toyota Camry, $23,000, 66 month term, a 730 credit score, 1.99%, pays a payment of $368 a month for the term of that purchase. That's a purchase, by the way. $366.22 a month on a purchase of a vehicle for $22,000. Imagine it. And that's over 66 monthly payments. Now, a person with a lower credit score, let's say you got a 599. It's on the report. 599 score, 14.9% interest rate. Your payments, $513.97 a month. Now that's $200. That's $170 difference. Now I don't know what how your financial situation is, but imagine if you could take that same $170 that you're paying extra, that's not going to you, it's not going to the dealer, it's simply going to interest rates. It's a part of the profit margin for that bank. And, sometimes we get angry at the banks and we get angry at the dealerships. We get angry at everybody else because it's our fault. It's our responsibility. It should be your responsibility to know what's on your credit report and what your scores are. If you know that, then you won't have a problem. I've got, hundreds of examples of people that we were able to help them improve their credit scores. And sometimes it only took 30 to 60 days to increase their scores over 100 points. I had one lady from a 450 to a 660 in 30 days. You can do this. It's available for you. It can happen. All you have to do is start by getting a copy of your credit report. $1. Press the button. $1 for a copy. By the way, the difference in the price of that card, the 1.99 versus 14.99%, is $9,000. How would you like to save $9,000 by just having, in some cases, in many cases, a person with a 599 Beacon score can improve their credit scores so easily, it'll make your head turn. Think about it. On the 1.99% interest, 1.99% interest rate, you're paying an interest payment of $1,300. On the interest payment, and this is a 599 credit score, you're paying an interest payment of $10,900. Now you only bought a $20,000 car. You bought a $23,000 car, and you're paying $10,900 in interest. That's almost $11,000. So that brought the purchase price of that car up from $24,000 or $23,000 all the way up to $33,900, $34,000 on a car that you could have, saved money on. That could have been a good purchase. Most people can, if you got a payment schedule of around $300 or $400 a month, on most of the cars that most vehicles that people purchase, you could easily afford that. I can tell you now, you never get justice until you bring justice to the table. In other words, people can't give you false information if you do the work, expose yourself to the differences, know how much things cost, and it's so easy for you to find this information out. There's so many advertisements right now out there for automobiles. It's the beginning of the New Year's. The automobile industry is going through, the automobile industry is going through a different time. I won't say a difficult time because it's not. They're doing pretty well over there. But it's going through a different time because there's a lot of changes as a result of the new government, new regulations. You probably noticed that right now, a lot of there was a time during the previous administration, and a lot of people don't realize how the government really affects our lives and the things that we go through. Right now, you get robocalls all day long. Right now, you got anybody who wants to sell you something, they're calling you 100 million times. Sometimes you can't even put your phone down. You look up and you see the strange phone number and you say, wow, why are these people calling me? Well, the laws have changed, so they've got carte blanche to call you as many times as possible, and eventually they may call you at the right time where you may decide to talk to them, and you might say, whoa, I think I need that. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing for people to want to sell products. We all do. I'm here. We've got this credit report for $1. I want you to take advantage of that. Is it really going to help you? I think so. Is there an advantage to being able to walk into a business and, let's say, for example, you want to get married. You walk into Zales. You say, man, I sure wish I could buy this nice engagement ring for my spouse. First thing they're going to ask you, what's your credit score? They're going to ask you for your Social Security and your date of birth and your ID, and then they're going to check your credit score, and then they're going to go from there. You don't have to be a victim. You don't have to overpay. Think about what I just said. The difference in price, total of payments on that automobile at 700 Beacon score, 730, was $9,600 versus, it was at the total cost, total interest payments was not $10,900. The total interest payment was $1,300. With good credit, it's only $1,300, and it's over 66 months. That's a major difference. The total of payments, monthly payments, with a good score was 366 or 368. With a 599 score, it's $513. Are you driving a Camry now? How much is your note? If your note's over $500, I got news for you. You're paying way more than you need to buy that same car. You could do better. and we're here to help. You and your credit, we've even provided a little schedule that it says what's affecting your credit, and it tells you what the credit scores are, and it says, well, what is actually affecting your credit. If you're looking to understand how your credit scores are determined, you realize that 15% of your credit score is based on the length of your credit history. 10% of the credit score is based on the different types of credit that you have, and 35% of your score, which is the largest, is your payment history. So if your payment history is scattered and you made you missed a lot of payments. I was watching a program the other day, and the lady said, well, we never missed any, we never went over 30 days, but you still had those interest payments. What happens is once you go over, most cases, 10 days of the due date, they charge you a little interest payment. So when you make that payment, you've got to pay the agreed upon amount plus the interest, the additional interest, and that interest is generally put to the back of the contract, and it causes your credit scores to reflect adversely. Now, if you have a copy of your credit report and you look at it and you say, well, I have an agreement with whatever company, and that company is, you're making your monthly installments every month, but you didn't realize that you had been late, even though you were never over 30 days. At the back end of that contract, it's going to adversely affect you. It's time for our second break. This is You and Your Credit on the New Orleans Talk Network. Hopefully I'll be better next week. It's nice to be back. We'll see you in just a few minutes.
The New Orleans Talk Network, now on your mobile device, on your computer, in your ear, and interactive. It's new, it's innovative, and it's on your mobile device. Android, iPhone, iPad, and on your computer. Take us wherever you go. Because we're interactive. 504-341-TALK. That's 504-341-8255.
Here at Jones Insurance, your full-service agency, let us take care of all your insurance needs. We provide homeowners insurance, flood, rental, commercial, auto, and life insurance. Don't let the unexpected tragedy destroy your family's future. Here at Jones Insurance, 7603 West Bank Expressway, Monroe, Louisiana, 772. Contact Lois at 504-348-1492.
Hi, I'm Prophetess Charlene Duforce.
And I'm Bishop Carol Duforce Sr.
And we're from Living Witnesses Ministries.
And we also have a program on the internet called Living by the Word Daily. And we're seen every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon Central Time on the New Orleans Talk Network.
And we would like to invite you to tune in with us every Wednesday morning. Again, 11 to 12 noon Central Daylight Time. Please join us as we teach the Word of God. Thank you, and God bless.
God bless you.
So how are you going to know what's affecting your credit score if you don't pull your credit? All right, I got a deal for you. If you pull a copy, if you go to my website and you pull a copy of your credit report, you'll be able to email me your questions, and I'll be able to I'll be able to help you improve your credit without it costing you anything. It's a free service that I'm offering today. Go to your credit report, pull out, press the red button, $1 credit reports, pull all 3 credit scores, email me through my website, youandyourcredit.us. That's youandyourcredit.us. Email me through the website, and I will contact you very soon, and I'll give you the information you need to improve your scores. This is a very inexpensive way to do this. Last year, I got a phone call from last year I got a phone call from a relative, and she told me, she said, "Man, I went to this car dealership to buy a car, and I have a 700 Beacon score. They gave me the 0%, but they still charged me a bunch of other fees, and I put $10,000 down and the whole 9 yards." Let me explain something to you. It's up to you to prepare yourself for your purchase. If you're buying a home, an automobile, buying jewelry, whatever you're trying to get, it's up to you to prepare yourself for your purchase. And that all starts with you knowing what's on your credit report. I've been saying it for years. $1, know all 3 scores, and a complete explanation of what's on your credit report is so simple. It's even filling out the form. I wish I could show you this form. This form is so simple to fill out. I mean, wow. This is easy. Name, middle initial, address, Mr. or Mrs., email address, confirm your email address, street address, city, state, zip code, and a phone number. Now, what could be easier than that? I don't know. Takes you all of about 2 minutes. And then click the next button that you accept in the terms. On the side of the page, it tells you, and that gives you an explanation of what is going to be on the credit report, what coverages is available to you as a result of being on this credit report. And you can't lose. It's a non-loser. It's a great opportunity for you to have a copy of your credit report. There's, anything else is a non-starter. If I were you and a guy, and you were thinking about buying a car, and you walked into the car dealer, and you were going to be paid, you were going to be charged a certain amount of money over and above what you felt was comfortable for you, I would go back to square one, take a look at my scores, and contact me, and I'll look at them as well, because I can't do it without interacting with you, because I have to know what your login is, and it's a lot of technical stuff. The laws are there to protect you and keep people from stealing your information and that kind of thing. So it's not like someone can just easily go in and pull your credit report. It's just not that simple. The laws are there to protect you. We can thank President Obama and his previous administration for making the changes that people needed to be made in order to protect themselves from scrupulous characters. One of the things we don't realize is that it's their job to do what they're doing. It's your job to protect your assets. These are your assets. This is your money. And if somebody's trying to, take your money, you should know that. And, say, whoa, wait a minute. I think I can do better than this if I go someplace else. Or maybe if you confront the person with the information that you actually have, and you could, these credit reports that I'm talking about, you can actually download them, you can print them, you can know what your scores are anytime. Anytime you want to go back to that credit score and credit report and know your scores, it's right there for you, man. It's right there for you. It doesn't adversely affect your credit score for you to pull you. If you pull it once, 10 times, 20 times, it's not going to adversely. It doesn't, it's soft pull, So as long as you're doing that and preparing yourself for your purchase, instead of walking in to a business unprepared, not knowing what things cost, not knowing where you should be. Right now there's great opportunities to buy things. But are you buying at a true cost or are you buying at an inflated cost? Back in the 70s, everything was inflated. There was a word called inflation, where interest rates were so high, no matter who you were, those interest rates were so high that it was affecting everything in the United States. And that's why if you're ever watching some of the political shows and they talk about the economy, they talk about inflation and what's actually occurring, and as far as whether you're paying a true cost or whether you're paying an inflated cost for like oil or gold or whatever. Having this information is not going to hurt you. It's the best thing you can do. It's you and your credit.us. You and your credit.us. If you go on you and your credit.us, you'll find all the information that I've been talking about for this last 50 minutes. And I promise you, it'll help you make a change, in everything that you've been doing. I've got customers that are so happy right now. They're buying houses, cars. They're referring me to their friends. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. It's great when you have, opportunities to live at a certain level in life. And, you ever notice that guy who's working, or that person that's working at the same job that you're working at? That person's working right next to you every day. Now, for a long time, there was a lot of discrepancy in the income of certain people on different jobs. But now those numbers are getting closer and closer together. But then here's this person. He lives, you've known him. Y'all worked next to each other for 10 plus years. You've, watched them get married or watch her get married, have children, and now they're buying houses. But when they go out to buy a house, they go buy a house in a middle class or upper middle class neighborhood. And, and their payments a lot less because they're paying lower interest. That's what you want. You want to be able to pay the lowest possible interest so that you can have the best bang for your bucks, the most opportunity for your dollar. Go to youandyourcredit.us, press the $1 report, get a copy of your credit report, and I promise you, when you email me, I'll get the email through my my email address. I'll contact you through email, and we'll help you improve your credit scores. This is You and Your Credit. I'm Remus Bowman, your host. We'll be back next Monday. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. It was nice being back, and we're looking forward to getting things a little lighter next week. That's Remus Bowman, You and Your Credit on the New Orleans Talk Network. See you Monday.